Hi guys, my name's Timon, and basically I've received a heap of emails just asking me about guitar tone. So I thought probably the best and easiest way to talk through what I like and pedals that I use and different sounds for different songs would be to put this video together for you. So I hope it's a great help. Alright, so this is my pedal board as of the 11th of October 2010. I've recently just been rearranging mainly my overdrives, just trying different things. Every overdrive responds differently depending on how much signal you're running into it or what pedal you're running into it, and where it is in the chain. So yeah, I just like to, try out different things every now and again. Alright, so I'll talk through my chain as it is now. So at the moment I'm plugging straight into my looper because my tuner is making a weird noise when I plug through it. I think it's just, because it's so old, probably about 4 or 5 years old, and still works, but yeah. So I'm plugging straight into my looper at the moment, and then my first overdrive is this one right here, the Cream Tone by G2D. It's a New Zealand company. I really like it. It's got 2 stages. I don't use the solo channel much. Okay, so, and then after that, yeah, you can see the settings there. Yeah, so and after that I go to currently it's my Tube Screamer. My pedal board is such a mess, I really need to clean it up. Having said that though, it's never let me down in about 4 or 5 years. Except a couple of times, been a patch lead that's just kind of, worked itself loose or whatever, which is pretty good, I think. So yeah, that's my 808. That's second stage at the moment. Probably gonna switch it out later and just try that. It's Open Road by Visual Sound. We'll talk through kind of getting a sound from a new pedal as well, which would be cool. And then I'm going into the Love pedal. Well, it's actually the Eternity. It's an overdrive made by Love pedal. It doesn't have a tone, it's got a top boost, which is that top middle dial. It's got a little toggle there for different EQ, cut, and kind of see the settings there. It always kind of changes a bit though, like it's never just locked into that one thing. Okay, so after that, then I'm going into my compressor at the moment. Keeley compressor. Oops. Keeley compressor. And you can see where I've changed the settings there numerous times because I thought that I was never going to change it again. But yeah, no, it changes. And actually I used to run at the start of my chain because I really like that. But what I found was that it was adding a bit more gain to my overdrives, which I kind of wasn't really liking. So then I tried it at the end of my chain, and then yeah, so now I'm just trying it after my overdrives and before my modulation effects. Okay, and then I go into my fuzz, which I don't use a whole lot, but I really like this fuzz. It's a Little Big Muff by Electro Harmonics. Yeah, I like it. Not too thin. Some fuzzes can be really thin and bitey and kind of hard to make work, but that's pretty easy. Alright, this is a Box of Rock. This can be a pretty hard pedal to get to work, depending on your rig and depending obviously what sound you're going for. But so at the moment for me, I've got it the drive right down and the tone kind of just past 12 o'clock, and I just use that for like a little bit of sparkle and crispiness. A bit of sparkle on top of the, slightly overdriven sound. So you're still getting most of your tone just from your guitar and your amp, but it just drives it that little bit, so it just kind of breaks up pretty sweet. Yeah, so that's after my fuzz. And like I said, it all kind of changes pretty regularly. I mean, you know, there's the general rule is that your overdrives go before your modulation effects. Otherwise, you know, you just gets real messy, basically. So from there, then I go out to my volume pedal, Old Ernie Ball Senior. I like it, even though technically it does suck a little bit of tone when it's good passive, I guess. But I don't, you know, if you're running a looper, you don't really notice that much. Like, you will definitely notice tone degradation if you don't kind of run through a true bypass strip, because your signal is going through all your pedals all the time. Even when they're off, if it's not a true bypass pedal, your signal is still going through it, and it gets slightly degraded, and you lose some of the tops. So it's not as pure, I guess, not as true. So yeah, that's why all my pedals are plugged into that, and it also makes it easier for switching effects. Mid-song, you can kind of, if you want to switch overdrives, you can just, if you got one on and you want to get to the other one with 1 foot, you can just obviously switch across, which is pretty handy. Alright, so yeah, so after the volume, then I go back in and then I go to my reverb pedal. I don't use much more reverb than that, because otherwise it just gets real hairy. I mean, I only use reverb for kind of swells and stuff, like, yeah, just to add a little bit more, you know, depth, colour, you know. Alright, so then next in line is the TC Electronic Nova Delay. Really cool pedal, got 9 presets. I think there's a new model out now, but yeah, that's going strong, it's going well. Never had any problems with it. Yeah, pretty technical. But yeah, once you got your head around it, it works really great. Now, I mainly use that for songs where I don't have enough time to tap in tempo. Good thing about having, like, you really need tap tempo delay, because, which is, you tap in the tempo there with the FS5U, and then I'll plug into my looper, but then I've split it out the back of the looper into those 2 DD5s. I think I've got about maybe another spare out for a tap on that at the moment on the looper. Yeah, because otherwise tap tempos, yeah, you really need a delay of tap tempo, because otherwise it just can get so messy and you get out of time and it's yeah, it's not good. Bad times. Alright, but we'll get to them. So next in line after the TC Electronic, the Nova, is the DM2. So yeah, and then that's set as it is. Yeah, so it's just a really cool old pedal. I've got to buy them second hand now, I think. Okay. So after that, then we go into this DD5, which is, both DD5s have the same, pretty much the same level of feedback. Both set on dotted 8s, triplets. So that's that one. And then this one's set slightly lower level. So you still got the same kind of feedback, but it doesn't actually go as long because the level's not as high as that one. And sometimes use them I like to use them in combination, pretty much only for swells, to get a real full, you know, woolly swell. But yeah, and then so out of that, that last loop is spare at the moment, and then I go into that. It's a Talent Boost, made by Teletronics. A guy, one of my mates in Melbourne makes these pedals. It's a clone of the Super Hard-On by Zvex. It's just, I'm just saying what it's called, so I didn't name it. Yeah, so yeah, it's a cool pedal. I got dual mono outs, and it's a boost, and it gets dirtier the more you turn that dial. Okay, so yeah, at the moment I've just got 2 1-spots. It's pretty disastrous looking at the minute, but I've actually got a Diego power supply on its way, so that'll be great. These are great because they're cheap and they're dual voltage, and they're 1700 milliamps each from memory, and they've just been running on my board. One would run all that, but it's kind of makes it struggle. They get tired after about 12 months, which is probably why my tuner pedal and it's making weird noises. But so yeah, I got a Diego on its way, which will be sick. That's like 3000 milliamps, I think. I don't know. I'm still yet. I just know there's a few guys that use them here, and they're pretty sweet. Sweet. Yeah, first stage is the 808. TS808 tube screamer. Second stage is the Eternity by Love Pedal. Definitely a little bit more transparent than the 808, mainly because I guess it's got like a little toggle switch, dip switch for different frequency boosts and pulls and that. Also, it doesn't have a tone. It's got a top boost, so the dial, it doesn't have a tone dial, it's got a top boost. And then the cream tone. Yeah, and that's the cream tone, made by G2D, New Zealand company. I like it a lot. It's a bit more, maybe grittier, bigger grit than both those other 2 pedals. Alright. That's on the neck pickup, box of rock. You can use that in other pickups, but it depends what the sound obviously you want. The middle pickup. Okay, so this is my reverb. So this is my DM2. Just got that nice kind of pulse that goes on. I like to blend it with my DD5 with the less level repeats. And together, just they're like. So it gets a bit messy, but I mean it kind of really works well when you're playing stuff. So that's my DM2 running into my DD5. So this is my first DD5. So you can see the longer repeats, a little bit more level when you first hear the first repeat, as opposed to the second DD5. Trails off quicker, and yeah. So this is my Fender Silverface Bassman. It's a 40 watt head. It's got two 12 Fender speakers, 1971 model. It's got two inputs, but I don't use the bass one, I guess for obvious reasons. I like to use the normal input. and that's my EQ setting at the minute. I can't take it much past 4 because it just breaks up, and it's not what I'm going for. Yeah, good times. Right, so this little unit here is a module. I never thought I'd use a module ever, but it's called the 11 rack, made by DigiDesign. Basically, it's an amp modeler, and it comes with all the classic amps, the Voxes, Fenders, Marshalls, etc., and the cabs, and you can choose different mics and mic placements. It's got other effects in it. It's got overdrives built in, modulation effects, delays, reverbs, graphic EQs, as you can all see there. The reason, oh yeah, you can put your little name on it. Yep, good times. It's got like 100 presets that you can program. Comes with Pro Tools. Worth looking up. You can get cool demos online for it. Okay, so this module is very good. It's not as good as a real amp, only because it just lacks that, whatever you want to call it, you know, like the X factor, you know, the mojo. It could just be that it's not pushing any air, you know, like, I mean, you can plug it into an amp and then into a speaker cab and it will run like it can, you know, obviously run it that way. But as far as modelling goes, it's just not as good as a real amp. There's just nothing that, I guess, really compares to a real amp. But this is very good, having said that. Like I guess Jad and I got one that we used when we were away on tour and whatnot, and basically because we needed something that was more reliable than a lot of the amps that we would be getting, because you know, just tubes and servicing, you just don't know what you're going to get, and halfway through sometimes you're just down to one amp that's struggling itself. So this is really good, and it works in your ears. Like, it works. It works in your ears, it works in a mix. Like, it takes a little bit of effort, but it works, and you can, have I said that enough? Yeah, it works. And it's great for if you want no stage volume from the guitar amps. So it's yeah, it's really cool in that regard. This is my Fender Stratocaster. It's a 1996 model. I really like it because it's reliable, it's versatile. Yeah, it's taken a few decent hits and it's still going strong. It's all standard except the bridge. I got given this guitar, so yeah, it's been a great blessing. I don't think, yeah, that's the bridge, obviously there. Used to have a Floyd Rose, got Graphtec saddles on it now, which is cool. Fender lace sensor pickups, red on the bridge, silver in the middle, and blue on the neck. It's lost a few knobs and gained a few, as you can see there. I wanted a black scratch plate, but I couldn't be bothered waiting, so I painted the white one, which is good times. And then it's got the roller bearing nut there. Yeah, these are brilliant. The locking tuning heads. They work a treat. Cuts changing string time down to like, I don't know, half. Sweet. All right. This is my Gretsch in its home. Double guitar case right there. My design, thank you. It purple felt, never fails. Yeah. Alright, this is my Gretsch. It's a 6120 model, 1997 model. It's got Filtertron pickups. This is the model that I believe the Brian Setzer was based off. Got the Bigsby there. You know, that's obviously the dial there. The dice is inspiration of the Setzer. It's just, why wouldn't you? Very cool guitar. Put Spurzels on it. Wait. Put Spurzels on it. Just yeah, makes changing strings so much easier. It's so I like this guitar because it's different, obviously, than my Strat, and it's just really good for a different sound, basically. Right, a program I just want to mention that has been a great help to me is a program called Snake Loops. And basically, I paid like $20 or $30 for it, I think, from memory. But it's a program that you can put any audio file or video with audio file, drop it into it, and you can slow it right down. So I'm just going to demonstrate real quick. It's this is something I just got off YouTube. There's a guy called Frank Gambale, and he's a really such a good player. I like him anyway. So I'll just play the track. It's only like, I don't know, 20 seconds, whatever. Yeah, and I'll show you at full speed, and then I'll show you it like slowed down. So that's that, like, and imagine trying to learn that at that speed. So, and then you slow it down, and it's probably going to be hard to hear it, but I'm just going to speed it up a bit. So you can see it's still quite quick, but you can actually pick out the notes and you know, work it out that way, which is priceless. What I'd like to do now is just quickly talk through a few thoughts that I have about, you know, music and guitar and being a part of a team, whether it's a, you know, church worship team or you know, band doing whatever. I think the first thing and one of the most important things is to have a good attitude, because you can have all the best gear and, you know, have all the licks and everything sussed, but if you don't have the right attitude, you know, you're not going to be teachable, and you're always just going to kind of be wanting to do your own thing. So yeah, that's not the best thing. Yeah, so, you know, there's that. Next thing I'd like to just mention is, so you don't need all the you know, 100 amps and, you know, a few amps. You don't need all the amps and all the gear, you know, like you can just have what you have, basically. If you've got a guitar and a good attitude and a tuner, because that's really important, you know, like, you know, you can make progress, and you know, like, then the rest of the stuff will come with time, and, you know, money you save up, and you get all your stuff, and that will come. So, but like, so as far as practicalities go, though, like, it's great if you just got a good kind of overdrive. So there's overdrives, there's distortions, there's fuzz pedals, and you know, they're the kind of three main ones, I guess. So like, overdrive's good because it's a bit more of a natural, like a warmer sound. Distortions can be a little bit more brittle and thin. Given the right application, they can be, yeah, epic. But if you're going to have just one overdrive pedal, then, you know, you go for, like, you know, I mean, there's heaps of great boutique pedals out there. You know, tube screamers, TS9, 808s, 808s better than TS9s. the original 808's better than the reissue 808s. You know, there's full drives, full drive 2, cream tones, OCDs, BB preamp's a cool pedal, but that's more of a distortion, I think. Like there's just so many great pedals, but so like an overdrive, you just kind of stick to overdrives to start, that'd be probably the best thing. And the delay pedals, DD5s, they're great because you can tap into tempo, very simple to use. They don't make them anymore, but so you can either buy them second hand or you can get a DD7. Stay away from the DD6 because you've got to hold down the pedal to to get up the tap function. If you don't tap in your tempo, it just delays can get really messy and they're easily overused. So it's always better to use a little bit less than what you think you might need than have too much delay. Same with overdrives. To use a little bit less gain and to saturate the heck out of it. It's always better just to bring it back and err on the side of caution, so to speak. So yeah, DD5s. I mean, there's other great delays. I've also got I like the Nova delay. DD20 by Boss, it's in my opinion, it's pretty big. Like it takes up a lot of room on my board and it's got some great functions. But I mean, real estate on a board it's a premium. So yeah, I like the Nova by TC Electronic. You just look at reviews and you just look at stuff. There's no rules. There's no you have to have this pedal and that pedal to be like the Hillsong King, or it's you can have what you like and you got to be unique in what you do as well. If you hear what I'm saying, there's lots of room for your own kind of expression. Depends what you want to express. So yeah, that's cool. What else got good? Sparkle Drive's another good overdrive by Voodoo Lab. The switches can tend to wear out pretty quickly though. I had to replace mine 3 times, I think. But it's life. Alright, I guess it's not one of the most prized possessions, but it makes a big difference, and that is cabling. So good cables will last a lot longer than cheap ones. So good often means more expensive. It's true. I love using George L's on my pedal board because they're so small and you can cut them to the perfect length and that kind of thing. But you've got to make sure you do up the ends really tight, so they don't come loose. Because if they come loose, then you've got all sorts of problems. And then cables that run from my guitar to my pedal board and from my pedal board to the amps. I like monster cables, just because they're thicker and they're just when people stand on them and the packers get run over them, they're a bit more durable. Other actually great cables, I think, are Megami cables. Planaways make some good cables as well. Some of them, 6 one, half a dozen the other. You just kind of, you work it out as you go and use what you got. Most important thing. My Fender it's a 1971 silver face, 40 watt head with a 212 cabinet. I've had it for about 6 or 7 years. Had to do maintenance on it, change the tubes, and all that affects kind of the tone. And but you work with it, and you just I'm always rearranging my pedals on my board. Where I've got it set up at the moment. Essentially it's the same as what I have had for a while. It's great to run your overdrives before your modulation effects. So, and I like to separate my overdrives and my modulation effects using my volume pedal. So, when I, do a swell, you can back off the volume and the delays, they will repeat out without the volume cutting it off. Also, if you want to hit big chord to start off with say, 2 or 3 overdrives, you have your volume down and you're not getting this mad hectic hum coming through. You just have your volume down and then just into it. Yeah. It's another little tip. You know, but then again, like, you don't have to do it that way. Like, you can do what you want, you know. Like, but that's some kind of pretty good guidelines, I think. Alright, so now I'm going to switch out my tube screamer for this pedal by Visual Sound, the Open Road. I've used it before, but I just thought, like, I haven't used it in a while, and I'm going to, you know, sometimes when you get a pedal, you mightn't like it at first as much as what you had on there. But it's always good to keep, you know, retry stuff, or, you know, you just keep working it out, you know. So I'm going to chuck this on my board real quick, and then I'm just going to get cracking. So when you're trying out a new pedal, it's really good to use a guitar that you're very familiar with, and the amp, so like kind of you know what you should be hearing, and then you can kind of adjust the pedal accordingly. I like to use my Strat. I mean, I could use my Gretsch, but I like my Strat because I just kind of know what to listen for. So I've kind of set my sound for that, and then most of the time actually it works out perfect for my Gretsch, which is not always the case, depending on what guitar you use, you know, like it's just kind of cool that it works like it does for those two. I'll play, you'll notice like I'll play again like a kind of sequence of notes, chords, runs or whatever. And so, but the idea is just to kind of, yeah, just try to, a lot of it comes with experience, you know, like, so basically you just need to start out with a good sound with just your guitar and your amp. And so, I think that's alright, you know, like there's probably better sounds out there, that's for sure, but, you know, it's where it's at. Alright, so, like that's sounding like it kind of should to me for what the amp is in this guitar. Like I'll also go through a sequence, like the different pickup selections, not usually using the out of phase pickups or the settings, because it kind of gets a bit, you know, you do that after you've established your kind of sounds across the three main pickups, two if you've only got two main pickups on your guitar. Ooh, that's not good chord. Alright, so now there's no rules for where you should start on a pedal, you know, like I've just put that all at drives at 12, the tones at 12 and the volumes at 12. So you know, without, so that means that the volume's pretty loud. I'll just turn it back a bit. And I'm just going to kind of muck around with it and try and talk through it as best I can. So that's sounding brighter than what my guitar sounds going just through it. Real, so I'm going to back the tone off a bit. right for my liking. So I really want it's also important to remember like where, if you've got a sequence of overdrives, what pedal you're replacing and kind of what even sound you're trying to achieve using that pedal, because sometimes some pedals aren't just cut out for certain sounds, or other pedals are more versatile, other pedals are you know, more better suited to a specific sound, if that makes sense. So yeah, so this is essentially my first stage that I'm replacing. This is my lowest gain pedal. So I mean, that's what the sound I should be aiming for, I guess. So what just happened there is that once I've turned down the drive, it's dropped dramatically in volume. Let's put it on. Off. So like, I need to boost up that volume again. And that's sounding too dark now with the gain right down. It's just sounding dark, so I'm going to bring the tone back up. So that's sounding better. I'm just going to put a little bit more gain on it. So I'm pretty happy with that actually. Like I really like that. So, because what it is that just adds a little bit more. It's not as bright and as kind of growly as what the box of rock is. It's a box of rock. This is the 808. What was the 808, which is now the open road. That was the open road, then the box of rock, so you can kind of tell the difference. So in conclusion, I actually really like that pedal, and I do like it better now than when I first tried it. I don't, you know, your ears change, you know, like I'm not going crazy, but your ears change. The more you're exposed to certain sounds, obviously the loud volumes can make you deaf, which is not a good thing, you know. So like. But like, yeah, but the more you're exposed to, you know, certain styles of music, and just, you know, as your ears mature, you'll become more inclined to certain sounds and frequencies, and your ears mature, and they kind of learn how to learn what they hear and how to kind of adjust that to make it, like work out how to adjust it on the amp to kind of get that sound. And if you just can't get it, then it's like, well, that sucks. You know, you've got to get another amp, you know, but that's always the most expensive alternative. Yeah, alright, well that's it for now guys. I hope it's been helpful. If you have any more questions, drop me an email and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, all the best.